Hello, everybody. Welcome to G4G on YouTube. I'm Napalm Dawn. Today, we are here in the closed beta of 5.9.1 for Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux. And we're going to have a quick little discussion on PvP. So, 5.9 is a closed beta. I will always give the caveat at the beginning of these videos that 5.9 is not available to the public. It is for a closed set of testers at this point in time. There is no ETA on beta 6 at this point. That will be the next available beta that will be open to the public. If you want to get the most recent version of the betas that are available to the public, that is 5.2. Links will be down below in the description, along with a link to our Facebook and a link to our Discord. There has been a rash of questions lately, both on Facebook and Reddit, as to like what is the ETA for beta 5.6? When does 5.9 come out for me? How do I transfer progress and stuff like that? Frankly, that is incredibly fucking annoying because it means you can't even give the first 2 minutes of the video a chance. So needless to say, I got to make sure I say that in the beginning of every video so that people catch on and they're not like, I want to watch 37-minute video. Well, it's right here in the first 2 or 3 minutes. So beta 6 is going to feature PvP tournaments. I'm going to say PvP because it rolls off the tongue a little bit easier. It is PVAI. To be specific, you will be fighting teams that have been designed by the development team. There are also teams that have some community input on them and everything. Basically, these are teams that you will have fought, or teams similar to what you would have fought during the early parts of Marvel Avengers Alliance back when it was live in 2012 and 2013. Essentially, season 1 will be unrestricted. Season 2 will have something to do with Deadpool because he is the first PvP hero that you earn. So my guess, and this is only a guesstimate, this is not insider knowledge, my guess is that season 2 could be a mutant season that you will be restricted to, or perhaps a scrapper season. So what does that mean? The Redux team recently announced that the seasons, some of them, will have restrictions based on a specific theme. And that is true for what you, as the agent, use. Now, it could be a Bruisers only season, it could be a X-Men only season, or maybe a MCU only season, or something like that. They have said that the seasons will not be so specific and so pared down that your choices would be under 10. The team has said that they're going to try to do seasons that have at least 10 characters available to use during the season. So you're not going to see a Fantastic Four season, as you would only have 4 characters and then a 5th in Spider-Man if you were using his Future Foundation suit. I've always been a huge proponent that perhaps we could get White Doom, Dr. Doom in his like a Future Foundation uniform. I believe Marvel Heroes had it. It's always been a suggestion of mine that perhaps we can get a uniform for him that allows him to be used with the Agent and maybe other Fantastic Four members. That would increase his viability a little bit so that he wouldn't be isolated to just him and the Agent. And if you followed the game when it was live until its death in 2016, you would know that in the last couple of years of the game, Doom was utterly useless to use in PvP. He had the same hit points as the Agent, so you were basically crippling your team to run Doom in PvP, whether it be offense or defense. When you first start Beta 6, because everybody's save is being reset and everybody's going back to square zero, PVAI, or like I said, I'm going to call it PvP, PvP will be locked. Once you reach certain milestones, you will be able to get into the practice mode, and then eventually you will be able to start the tournament. This save that you see me using is a level 141 save. It is one that I brought forward from beta 5.2, 5.5, and 5.6. It is something you will not be able to do when beta 6 drops, but this is only for your entertainment purposes. The clean save that I started in 5.9 only has practice mode available, and we can take a look at that, but I want to show you something a little bit higher level, and this is the only save where the actual tournament is unlocked. So if you notice, I have attacked 9 times and won 5. I have not played any PvP today, which is why the daily wins is 0. So that's what we're going to try to accomplish in this video, is to get 5 wins and to show you what a spinner is like. The roster benefits are live. As you can see here, this is a roster page similar to what you would have seen back in the day. And you have Iron Man, he's there at 14. So he is that purple color. You have a bunch of 10s. There's a 12. You have some 11s, which almost look like they're kind of generic gray. It's not. It's sort of like a white. Here with Doctor Strange, it's like white foil, like kind of like Marvel Snap cards. Same here for 13 for Pepsi. 11 is kind of a generic gray white. These thumbnails are crisp. I'll tell you, looking at these, this is one of the most crisp graphical components I think I've seen in any betas. These thumbnails, especially when it's not on black, like Black Cat is okay, but these other ones with the colored backgrounds and the gradients and the shading look absolutely phenomenal. I wouldn't mind if they fit a little bit more on the screen, but in all honesty, them being bigger and scrolling to see it gives a more richer graphical detail. So here are my bonuses for my heroes. My armory is blank, and there is a reason for that. That will be shown in just a moment. So I'm basically running an opportunist team with the Titanium RPG, the Manvatara, the Master Sword, and the Neurotrope, just for some buffs and extra damage. So here we are fighting Agent Vino, or Vinod, with Storm and Thing. Not too sure what these guys have as synergy over here. I don't see any scrappers, so I'm going to have Wasp open up with the Skirmish Scramble. By the way, her Nimble is phenomenal in PvP. Now, she's not really known for doing a ton of damage. And if you happen to remember Marvel Avengers Alliance 2, Wasp was a complete goddess of PvP in that game. Because she could tank everything with her dodge rate. Believe it or not, here in Redux, her Nimble is really solid. And she is good setup for the big hits, whether it's the boot from Pym or the fist from Wasp herself. She's pretty good as a setup person, but she's not going to do a lot of damage. But this team has a theme. Everything about it is opportunist. So there goes the Manvatara. Master Sword likes to follow up on people who have opportunist debuffs, which is why it's here. There are no blasters. Well, there is a blaster, but there are no infiltrators. So Pym is free to do what he wants. However, I'm going to try to start by getting a tactical bonus from hitting Storm. Really good damage there. Good. We got the tactical bonus. So now we're going to go ahead and do Army of Ants. So the 2 biggest AoE attacks are out. The suit that you see my agent wearing is not a Season 1 suit. It is a suit that I happen to have from Beta 5.2, which was a little bit less restricted. You will not see the suit until Beta 7 or higher. This is very, very deep into Season 2. It is the suit that gives everybody infiltrator bonuses if my agent attacks a tactician or is attacked by one. Phenomenal suit, but don't get stars in your eyes. You're not going to see it. I'm going to do Disrupting Shot because he has Stonewall. This should remove that buff from him. It actually didn't. Yeah, he still has some... It's not a bordered debuff, or a bordered buff, so I would think that it should not be on him anymore. I don't know if that's a bug or not. I'm going to RPG him. Not a lot of damage because the Stonewall took a good chunk of that. I did not get stunned there. Let's do the boot because we know we have a lot of debuffs out. Pretty solid damage there, at least on the enemy agent. We'll do the fist. That's what Wasp is good at. If you want damage out of Wasp, that's where you do it. We'll RPG him again. Yeah, now that the Stonewall's gone, a little bit more damage. Master Sword, more debuffs, more damage. Pretty big hit from him, though. Okay, so this is a good... that's my PvE gear showing up here. This is a bug that's already been reported to the development team. Actually, I haven't... I have earned gold. Wow. Okay, cool. So it looks like once you get above 5 wins, your rank goes up. So yeah, congratulations to the development team over here. The ranks seem to be working. We've got 4 more wins to get, so let's get at it over here. We do have a infiltrator, which is not good for Pym, but he can shut him down. We have a blaster, good for Pym, but we have a scrapper, which is not good for 2 of us. I believe it is Wasp who can turn off the scrappers. I'm going to try and open up with a single target on the agent. Hopefully get the tactician bonus. I did. Great. And now I'm going to go ahead, rip up with the ants. Good God. Yikes. Those are encounters. That's his actual turn. Nightcrawler is pretty scary in 5.9. I've seen him do a lot of damage and get a lot of extra attacks. Not too sure where he gets the extra attacks from, but Nightcrawler is in a scary position, to be honest. The Manvatara is a time stream weapon. I'm kind of surprised there. I didn't think... Wow, I didn't think I would proc that from the Manvatara. That's a little bit of a bug, too. The agent is using my weapon, even though he doesn't have it. I don't have my ISOs in my agent suit right now because there is a little bit of a bug going on in 5.9 that the enemy agent steals my ISOs and applies it to him, and I don't get the effect. So it's not like he's copying it and using it. He's actually stealing it from me, and I don't get the effects of my ISOs, but the enemy agent does. That's why I'm not wearing any ISOs at the moment. Okay, so it is the fist bump that does winded, and we are going to wind Wolverine over here so that he doesn't get extra attacks. Still really good damage, though. However, his healing factor did a good job of negating a lot of that. Still really good damage early on from Wasp. Let's see. I think we need some more opportunist debuffs, so I'm going to do Army of Ants again. Actually should have attacked the enemy agent there with single target. He's rough. Woo boy. Let's RPG somebody. I think the enemy agent is in the kill box, so I'm going to go for him. Yep, okay. That was a good choice. It would not have killed Wolverine at that damage. So now we can open up with Wasp's AoE. which should mean, damn, Wolverine is rough. Wolverine's healing is really good. This is a pretty good team that got put together here. Hopefully the boot does some good damage. Oh, wow. That was great damage on Wolverine. Alright, it looks like I'm a one-on-one now with Nightcrawler. I do have the hit points over him, and it is Infiltrator versus Infiltrator. I'm going to try the rock. He is going to counter this. Okay, so Temporal ignores Avoidance and Protect. Okay, so he did properly get that Infiltrator counter there. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Good follow-up. That Bamf is going to do a lot of work for him. I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose this at this point. I have no idea how Nightcrawler has gotten so overpowered. If one of these rocket launchers actually hits... Yeah, that's a problem. We're lucky it's not the swashbuckler version of it, who would be adding bleeds, but now I'm out of stamina. He is healthy as a horse, and I am on death's door, and there it is. Wow. Good lord. Just Nightcrawler basically soloed that whole fight. Let's try another one. I've seen this team before. Agent Boom with She-Hulk and Mr. Fantastic. We saw him on the stream this week. Again, like to open up with Man Vitara early on. Actually, I'm going to go single target off of Mr. Fantastic, because now I can turn my entire team into infiltrators by doing that. Everybody's going to counter that. He's trying to steal my Master Sword so hard. I think the enemy agent's maybe going to wind up dying from that one attack. Oh, wow, a miss. Yeah, I think the AoEs from Pym and... Yep, there we go. Okay, so the enemy agent basically suicided there. Holy shit. That's a lot of damage from Mr. Fantastic. I know he's capable of it, but that's crazy. Hopefully we get to see Wasp Nimble actually get into action over here. She did not do a good job of dodging in the last fight. Okay, Man Vitara. More opportunist debuffs going out. If you happen to be an astute observer, you will notice there is a debuff going out called Opportunist. This is not actually a debuff that is supposed to exist. This is a bug. When you have Opportunist, it means you cause one of the opportunity debuffs. You're not actually supposed to have a debuff called Opportunist. It's a method, not a debuff. All right, so let's... almost said let's fist She-Hulk over here, which would be really dirty. So let's just say we will fist bump She-Hulk. All right, 2 down, 3 to go. Looks like we encountered a bug fight over here. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video real quick as I relaunch it. All right, we are back. We are fighting Agent Victor, who has Captain America and Iron Man. We have a blaster, which is good for us. We have a tactician, which is good for us. We have an infiltrator agent, which is not great for Pym, but that's okay. Wasp, I'm going to open up with the AoE. Again, as you can see, not a lot of damage, but good debuffs, and she gets nimble. Iron Man randomly recharged for some reason. I'm going to single target on the enemy agent and go for Cap because he's a tactician. So I'm going to give infiltrator bonuses to my entire team. If I was actually wearing a legitimate infiltrator suit, I would just be opening up with the Manvatara. Not even too sure what the infinite injector did. I think that's a stamina restoring thing, but nobody used any stamina over there yet. Let's be smart and actually attack the blaster first. Easy to forget sometimes. Get the bonus and then do ants. Alright, off balance, so that means the agent will not be countering, but that was a pretty solid shot there from Captain America. Let's try to go for Iron Man with the fist bump. Deleted. And let's try to rocket launch the agent. Okay, there we go. That's what this team can do and this gear can do when you're not struggling. Most of the gear should be available for Season 1 content. I'm not sure about the Master Sword, but the Titanium RPG, the Manvatara, will definitely be accessible, and I believe the Neurotrope should be too. We're down to one last attack, so I'm going to go to the refills. Make sure that I have enough to try and get the spinner. Agent Thiago Silva with Doctor Strange and Gambit. We have a blaster. We have a bruiser, that's fine. We have no scrappers. We have an infiltrator. Advantage us, because hopefully Pym can use Strange for some extra turns. Kind of a solid shot there from the Ace of Spades. Not devastating, but kind of solid. We don't have a tactician over there, so I'm going to open up with the Manvatara. Solid hit. Good follow-up from the Master Sword. Bunch of debuffs going out. That's great. First time I've really dealt with magic debuffs in PvP over here, so it'll be interesting to see how much damage they do. There's my extra turn for Pym. Actually, not exactly. Yeah, it said that I gained the tactical benefit, but I'm not actually here twice. So, let me exhaust Strange so that he can't do his quick actions. Yeah, a little bit of a mess up there with the tactical benefits. It happens. She's done the AoE already. Does anybody have some buffs? Not really. Okay, let's go ahead and try to fist bump Strange. Alright, we got him out of there before the terrorism boost. That's good. Right now, the heals... Oh, I think that removes buffs. Does that one remove buffs? Okay, good. Terrorism boost gets counted twice for some particular reason right now at 5.9. So if he had healed, it would have been extremely overpowered and tough to overcome. But we are looking pretty good here. It's one-on-one with the agent. Fumbling is good. Alright, 2 more wins to go, and you guys get to see what a PvP daily spinner is going to look like. Excuse me, 1 more win. Agent, oh god. Heroicat? Wow. Okay, interesting name. Captain America, Iron Man, Tactician, Blaster again. So, if we exhaust Iron Man, he can't do his shield and then another ability. The shield would end the turn. So exhausting him's not a bad idea. We do have an infiltrator over there, but off balance went out. That shield throw is doing a good amount of damage. You see people countering Captain America because my agent is giving the team combat reflexes. I'd like to see somebody try to attack Wasp with single target so we could see if her nimble is doing a good job. So far, it is actually not. Iron Man pays for his arrogance. If we look at Pym, he should be a infiltrator right now. So I do not need to open up with the single target. Yep, there's the combat reflexes. So I'm going to go with the Manvatara. It'll take out Iron Man. It'll put out more opportunity debuffs over there. Ooh. Savo military rifle's doing a good job. Time for the big boot. Nearly gets rid of the agent. Wow, Captain America took a huge debuff there. Wasp finally evaded. Alright, so one-on-one with the agent. We are good to go. We'll fist bump it out. Huge. Nice overkill in PvP. Alright, so now you guys get to see what a spinner looks like. Once you get 5 out of 5, this button lights up. You hit it. And there you go. 10 command points. 20 gold, 30 gold, 40, 45 gold on the board. A bunch of PvP refills. The one other time I've gotten a spinner, I got a PvP refill. 10 command points is pretty solid. You know, at all stages of the game, getting 10 is pretty big. And it looks like I can go for another 5 in about 3 hours or so. Now, we said at the beginning of the video, I was not screwing around with my armory. I will show you what happens if you start slotting some high-powered armory items in there. You can replace your armory items. You can replace them directly, or you could hit unsocket. So if I took a vibranium grenade over here and switched it for the cloak, you can see I earned the cloak back. It's non-destructive. So if I hit unsocket all, everything gets returned to me. So you can play around with the armory to your heart's content. Now, in the beginning of the game, you're not going to have a lot of stuff to put here. You could go to the store, go to supplies, go to PvP, and start slotting these items. And actually getting some of these cheaper ones are not too bad of an idea, especially these that are available for silver. I'll actually buy a couple of those to emulate what you will see at the beginning of the game. The items that you see me slotting now, they've come from block boxes. You guys get ready to laugh, because this is going to be Thanos levels of destruction here. We'll do it in practice. Yeah. There's the hit points when you start fucking around with really, really, really high-powered armory items. 673,000 hit points. The damage this could do is about 7.4k at the top end. You wait until you see the damage values that go out. This happens. 50k damage from the hidden blade. A 53k damage bleed. So, if you do happen to open lockboxes, because they will be available, and you start seeing high-powered armory items dropping there, I would say it's probably best to avoid them until the math gets sorted out, which should hopefully be done when Beta 6 drops. But, I mean, this is like the original game if the stat squish had never happened. This is like 2016's numbers if... Oh my god. And honestly, the damage output does not even compare to the hit points. I mean, look at the damage Wolverine just did there. A knuckle sting doing like 69k. It is knuckin' futz. To say the least. And there goes Nightcrawler being crazy. We do have some opportunist debuffs out. Let's try to see what a bug squashing does. Actually, wait a minute. Nope, hold on a second. Let's try that. 100. Oh, damn it. Didn't get the tactic. We're screwed. All right, we'll try to fist bump somebody. I'll try to fist bump the enemy agent, see if I kill him. No, not even close. To be honest, when the armory is this jacked up, I feel like the enemy team takes way more advantage of the armory than my own team does. Wow. So, yeah, I would definitely, if you start playing around with the armory in Beta 6 when you get your hands on it, try it in practice first to see if the values seem reasonable. And then go ahead and actually get into the tournament. I sorted by offense, so I'm going to try to just use the ones that I got in the store. There's a couple of them. There's the Android arm. Defensively, early on, like the grenades, especially the Tangler grenades, are a pretty good source of balanced armory items. And you can use a little bit of silver to get them from the store. Let's see. Okay, so the... Ooh. Wow, they're still coming in super high. Alright, let's try to see what we get now. Still 21k. It's still up there, but let's see what the damage values are going to be like as we face a Scarlet Witch, a Thor, and Agent Delilah, who is running the Mutant's End. That is thematically works with Scarlet Witch because of No More Mutants from House of M. She was a tactician. I should have caught that and should have opened up with a single target. I'll hit a single target next round. A little bit of a waste, though. Thor recharges. Is it Scrapper Thor or Bruiser? Alright, so that's Bruiser. That's handy for us. Let's try to get the tactical benefit. Maybe it's inconsistent if I use the Goliath Punch. It shouldn't be, but... I should be able to get the tactical bonus from either one of his single targets. So far, at a reasonable level of the armory, combat is proceeding like I would expect. The values seem to be pretty solid, but not overtuned. Yeah, okay, 5k for that kind of hit is pretty good. Scarlet Witch is getting pretty close to dying. I'm actually going to hit her with the remove buffs. Solid Thor damage, but not overtuned. Pretty good counter. Interesting how Pym counters with his level 2 instead of his level 1. Some characters do that. Pym is one of them. Good boot. That's what you expect to see from the boot. Okay. So, beginner armory items seem to be balanced. If you happen to get high-powered items from any of the lockboxes, I would avoid them unless you practice first and see if the values are good. Again, I don't know if they will be perfectly adjusted in 6. Hopefully they will by the time you see it. So there you go, guys. That's what it's like to do PvP in beta 5.9, which should translate pretty well into beta 6. As you can see here, this screen is working perfectly. You can see the agent is showing off the uniform that he's on. Here's the gear. You may have a question of when will we get the 5th slot for the agent, because it was around when the game died. I would say it's probably likely it will show up in the Season 2 content, which will be a beta that comes after 6. So we will probably see it show up later. But again, I'm not too sure on that one, as I've never really asked the team of that. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope it keeps you excited to do PvP when beta 6 drops. Again, no ETA as of yet, and 5.9 is not available for any public sharing as of yet. If you're living in the States, hope you had a good 4th of July, and everybody else, have a great weekend.